Presentation McNeil Lair News Hour
by Jonathan Miller. Next here on 6.
Funding is made possible by Unisys, meeting the mission-critical information systems needs of business and government worldwide. At Unisys, we make it happen. And by the 90,000 members of the ACM, computer professionals advancing human capabilities through information technology. And the National Science Foundation.
In 1946, these two men created the world's first computer company. 5 years later, they were broke, victims of a political witch hunt.
Apparently the President and I now agree on the necessity of getting rid of communists.
And muscled out by a company no one could beat. The untold story of the computer industry's rocky beginnings is finally revealed on Inventing the Future, next time on The Machine That Changed the World.
This is PBS.
The Dream Machine, the hardcover series companion written by John Palfreman and Doran Swade and published by the BBC, can be ordered by calling 1-800-441-3000. Please have your credit card ready.
Presentation of The Machine That Changed the World is made possible locally in part by grants from Quark Incorporated, where publishing and graphic design professionals from around the world look for innovation in software technology. And by Anatech, a division of Intergraph, creators and manufacturers of large format scanners for engineering and mapping applications.
Where does sanity end and madness begin? What causes it, and can it be cured?
Madness can loom everywhere. Anybody can go mad.
Join Jonathan Miller for a 5-part journey into madness.
Next here on 6. Saab Cars USA joins Channel 6 in supporting environmental programming. People who care about the world they live in think before they choose their car and before they use it.
Next on Nova. The spectacular beauty of Colorado's Rocky Mountains has attracted settlers and prospectors since pioneer days.
There was no laws about pollution of any kind. Now, that legacy is coming back to haunt us.
The waters are contaminated, and the fragile landscape is threatened. Is it too late to halt the poison in the Rockies? That's next time on Nova.
Nova, Tuesday at 8. It's KRMA's annual Art and Antique Preview. Hanging art, using art, standing art, and wearing art. Old art and new art. It's all art and antiques in the biggest show in town. You'll see works by hundreds of local, national, and international artists. It's free and open to the public, and you're invited. On April 4th, 5th, 11th, and 12th, from noon to 5 p.m. at Denver Enterplaza, 555 South Broadway.
Feeling lonely, depressed.
Then tune in to The Creative Spirit, featuring Patty Duke and Marley Matlin. Explore creativity in many walks of life in Part 1 of The Creative Spirit.
Wednesday at 7.
We're Ruth Chaddock
and Steve Smith from the Ringling Brothers and Barnum & Bailey Clown College, and we are pleased to support the Channel 6 auction. Now, don't clown around.
Make your donation now for Super Auction 92. It's going to be a 3-ring circus of action. Call the auction office for more information.
Best TV can be for 8 cents a day. Madness is made possible by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and viewers like you, and by a grant from the Kenneth T. and Eileen L. Norris Foundation, supporting medical research, education, community-based programs, and the arts.
Some say H. Ross Perot should be President of the United States. Some say Roe versus Wade should be overturned. Some say the recession is far from over. What do you say about the issues of the day? Join Bill Moyers tomorrow night at 9:30 as he talks to Americans about what's on their minds. Watch Listening to America with Bill Moyers at 9:30 Tuesday here on 6.
Madness is made possible by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and viewers like you, and by a grant from the Kenneth T. and Eileen L. Norris Foundation, supporting medical research, education, community-based programs, and the arts.
Video cassettes of this program can be purchased for educational use only by calling 1-800-328-PBS1. Home video sales are not available through this offer.
This is PBS.
America is a democracy, but how do the governed feel about the government?
Who do I trust?
It just seems anymore it's government of the people, by the interests, for the few.
Bill Moyers hosts a new weekly series that explores the concerns of the American voter.
Bill Moyers, Tuesday at 9:30.
Promotion assistance for Channel 6 is provided by BenchAd, the Bench Advertising Company, a community-oriented corporation.
Feeling lonely, bored, depressed.
Then tune in to part 1 of The Creative Spirit, featuring Patty Duke and Marley Matlin, James Earl Jones. Explore creativity with a surgeon, an inventor, a painter. All this and Jane Curtin in part 1 of The Creative Spirit.
Wednesday at 7 here on 6.
Hello, I'm Mike Kopp of Richmond Homes. We, with the generous help of our suppliers and subcontractors, are building another great auction home in Parkview. We want you to visit Parkview to see the 1992 Richmond auction home. And we want you to join us in supporting the April televised auction with your donations of cash, merchandise, and services. Call the auction office during business hours and take advantage of the super auction activity.
There is a growing crisis in the American healthcare system. Is the condition critical? Host Phil Donahue and healthcare experts explore the issues on the American Healthcare Forum. They'll also look at the candidate solutions. Do they offer any hope? It's one of the most serious issues facing Americans today, and it could be the political issue of the election. Wednesday, join Phil Donahue for Condition Critical.
This is Channel 6, KRMA TV, Denver.
Experience the terror on the anniversary of the Great Quake of 1906. TMC Real Events presents Clark Gable, Jeanette MacDonald, and Spencer Tracy in San Francisco. Next on TMC Real Events.
What do you say to a heart-to-heart?
Clarice, people will say we're in love.
Some risky business?
Somebody back east, they say
What don't he write? Something wild.
Fellas, just wait. I heard your record. Light that fire.
Light your fire.
Light that, just
Light
good,
my fire.
Great, fine.
So what do you say to a movie anytime you want one?
Whoa, that'll keep you up for the rest of your life, huh?
The Movie Channel. Our name says it all.
Get it? Got it. Good.
We're here at the American Film Market, where everyone and their cellular phone has gathered, hoping to find tomorrow's hit movies today. Most of these people are professional buyers, but I'm sure with our uncanny reporter's instinct, we'll have no trouble finding some of the big blockbuster hits.
With thousands of films to choose from, our trained eye zeroed right in.
Now, I couldn't help but notice the one behind you, a nymphoid barbarian.
A nymphoid barbarian in Dinosaur Hell.
Now, is Meryl Streep in that movie?
No, Meryl was unavailable.
Nudist Colony of the Dead.
It's a musical, and something that you'd want to see if you were in an up mood and felt like listening to some great music.
When I'm in an up mood, I sure gosh darn want to see Nudist Colony of the Dead, because there's nothing like a bunch of dead nudists to really keep you in a happy mode. So basically, the plot is a killer refrigerator.
Yes, well, the whole thing is it's very easy to imagine.
Not only does it devour a house guest or two, but it also seduces Steve, the husband of the newlywed couple.
Yes, well, it's not easy, but it, you know.
I've never seen a seduction scene by a refrigerator.
It's a very hot situation, which proves that not all refrigerators are cold.
Things really heated up with the arrival of a star.
Can you tell us what the plot of Malibu Beach Vampires is?
I don't know the plot of it. It's got to be about vampires, although I didn't see.
I think that's a good guess.
Yes.
You have actually 3 films with Eric Estrada?
Yes, we have 3 films. Spirits is playing a role of a priest.
Okay, and then in this next one, what does he play?
The next one he's playing a role of a priest.
Oh, he's darn versatile, that Eric. And then finally, in this one?
He plays a role of a cop who is a priest.
How is he as a cop, a priest? Do you have a favorite pick?
He's the same in both.
Why doesn't that surprise me?
This one here, for example, Savage Harbor, this is with Stallone and Mitchum. That's Frank Stallone and Chris Mitchum.
How's Frank in this movie?
Frank's one of the heroes. Yeah, he's good. He speaks, he moves. He can punch.
Well, gosh, he's got it all over his brother with that. I'm going to guess that Alienator is about a woman who just antagonizes people and is not very good at parties. This is maybe our 4th or 5th Eric Estrada film sighting. Why is Eric so big here today?
I'm not too sure, but he's in practically every film.
There's a lot of faces here you don't usually see. Priscilla Barnes and John Saxon. You almost get the feeling that they took every guest star from The Love Boat and gave them their own feature film. Oliver Stone's film JFK raised a lot of questions, but this one I think really answers them all. Who didn't kill JFK? So basically, everyone who didn't kill JFK is on this tape.
Absolutely.
And it's only 60 minutes long. This is
the Many Faces of Lee Harvey Oswald.
It shows that Oswald was a master of impersonation. This is perhaps his least effective disguise as Eric Estrada. Well, we found a lot of great hit movies today, but there was one thing we hadn't found that we were determined to hunt down.
The man of 1,000 films, Eric Estrada.
You got your man. The case is closed. Go home. Be happy.
Eric.
That's an order.
Jody Horowitz in Hollywood.
A love triangle of espionage, passion, and power with only one way in. Leaves Kevin Costner.
You know I work for Bryce?
Sean Young.
And that makes 2 of us.
And Gene Hackman.
This one
will presented here for the first time with scenes never before seen in theaters or on television.
People will be able to see the entire picture show and then the entire Texasville. I thought I made it for that experience so that there are scenes in Texasville that reverberate back to Last Picture Show.
Set some 30 years after The Last Picture Show, Texasville reunites director Bogdanovich and virtually the entire original cast. Revisiting characters from so long ago provided a unique challenge to the actors, and one that was often met in unexpected ways.
When I'm preparing for a role, I'll look around for models to base my character on and so forth, and a lot of it depends on wardrobe. The first day shoot, I'm sitting there looking through these clothes and none of it seems right, and I'm going, oh God, what is happening?
10 minutes, Mr. Bridges. Okay, I'll be right out. Oh, God, Peter, I don't know. He says, this is all right. It won't work out. He's into something else. And I'm stomping around. All of a sudden, I hear this knock on my door. And I say, yeah. And I open the door, and there's this Rusty Lindemann standing there. He was the guy the oil man who owned the land that we were shooting on. He goes, hi, how you doing? I said, well, I'm upset because I don't know, and I'm looking him up and down, he's looking at his clothes. I thought, I don't know how, I wish I looked like you. I said, it kind of makes me upset that I don't look like you. And he said, well, hell, you can have anything. I'll take my, and he proceeded to undress in my trailer, and he gave me all his clothes.
And now, the special director's cut of Texasville.
Sometimes I remember when I stay up late at night.
It's 60% of the transport, so we are talking of law is very low. So I mean, the answer is, what is the alternative? I am not happy with the situation as it is. I mean, but is there any other valid alternative in this moment?
Mr. Falcoff, what about that?
Well, I think that you don't establish the rule of law at the lowest levels of a society by breaking it at the highest levels of a society. We have to start somewhere. And I think that the government has put itself, what worries me is that the Peruvian government has put itself in a position where it's very difficult to backpedal now. What institutionality is it going to go back to?
But that sounds fine, but in reality, wasn't this a president who would move pretty far down the road of creating a capitalist open market system, and certainly farther than...
Well, that would be a subject for another program.
Well,
I'm less impressed with that than some. But
there had been reforms, economic reforms.
There have been some macroeconomic structural reforms.
Facing enormous obstacles from the terrorists, from the Shining Path, the drug trafficking and so forth. Backed into a corner, what else should this president have done?
Well, it seems to me that if in a framework of a democratic political community, you can't, I'm talking about the Congress, you can't sell a program of economic reform, then obviously the society is not ready for an economic reform, and that's all there is to it. It's not an inevitable thing. People have the right to fail democratically, if that's their right, but they have the right to make these choices.
And has the United States response been the correct one? Rosenberg?
I think I'd like to make one point about the economic program, which is that it's depended greatly on international loans, which are now going to be cut off. I think the economic gains that were made under Fujimori are now imperiled. I think the United States has responded strongly. That's very good. I think it should respond more strongly yet. It should advocate the cutting off of these loans with sanctions, because you have a very great danger in Latin America of this spreading. And I think the message needs to be clear that the solution is more democracy.
All right, well, Ms. Rosenberg, Mr. Falcoff, Ambassador McLean, and Mr. Letts, we thank you all for being with us.
Thank you very much.
Again, the main stories of this Wednesday. An air and arms embargo went into effect against Libya. The United Nations approved the measures to force the Gaddafi government to hand over suspects in the bombing of Pan Am Flight 103. President Bush declared downtown Chicago a disaster area, releasing federal funds to help pay to clean up the flood-damaged business district. Good night, Judy.
Good night, Robin. That's our news hour for tonight. We'll be back tomorrow night. I'm Judy Woodruff. Thank you and good night.
Part of helping the world live and communicate better is keeping it well informed. That's why funding for the McNeil-Lehrer News Hour is provided by AT&T. And by PepsiCo. And by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. And viewers like you.
Video cassettes of the McNeil-Lehrer NewsHour are available from PBS Video. Call 1-800-328-PBS-1. This is PBS.
Presentation of the McNeil-Lehrer NewsHour is made possible tonight by grants from the Gates Foundation and from Kessler Ehrlich Investments, providing services in government bonds for institutions and substantial individual investors.
Part 2 of The Creative Spirit looks at the beginnings of the creative life with special help from Bernadette Peters, James Earl Jones, Charlie Korsma, and more in Part 2 of The Creative Spirit.
Next, here on 6.
Hello, I'm Tom Caldwell, President of Van Schaack & Company. We're delighted to again represent Channel 6 in marketing the 1992 auction home in Parkview. Richmond's suppliers and subcontractors are really busy getting the beautiful home ready for the grand opening. All of us at Van Schaack, Richmond Homes and Bank Western urge you to stay tuned for further details on the best home buy in the Denver metro area. KRMA's 1992 auction home. It could be yours.
Saab Cars USA joins Channel 6 in supporting environmental programming. People who care about the world they live in think before they choose their car and before they use it.
I hope you never forget what he looked like.
Oh, the places you'll go.
There's 23 million Americans who couldn't read.
I just can't do it anymore.
And that's what teachers do. They give us dreams.
Tonight at 8.
Hello, I'm John Inman. Mr. Humphreys, are you being served? I'm quite sure the Channel 6 auction won't have even one item from Grace Brothers store, but you'll find things from thousands of other businesses. Do turn on the telly to watch. Bid and buy, April 23rd through May 2nd. Are you tuning in?
This is Channel 6, KRMA TV, Denver.
The Creative Spirit is made possible by IBM, providing creative services and solutions to people around the world.
Video cassettes of the McNeil-Lehrer NewsHour are available from PBS Video. Call 1-800-328-PBS-1. This is PBS.
Presentation of the McNeil-Lehrer NewsHour is made possible tonight by grants from the Gates Foundation and from United Bank.
Ringling Brothers and Barnum & Bailey Clown College invites you to watch, bid, and buy under the big top at the Channel 6 auction, April 23rd through May 2nd.
Don't miss the three-ring circus of action at this year's Super Auction.
Next time on Nova, heart disease, the #1 killer, more deadly than all other diseases combined. These 4 men are fighting back with an experimental treatment. Are yoga and tofu a cure? They hope to unclog their arteries without drugs or an operation. A controversial new method of avoiding the surgeon's knife. That's next time on Nova.
Tuesday at 8, here on 6.
Next time on Frontline, the unwritten rules of life for Americans in Japan.
We have to play by the rules here, and they're very different.
In baseball and in business, the Japanese play the game their own way.
Japan is a very closed society.
I think a foreigner is an intrusion to that. Watch American Game, Japanese Rules on Frontline.
Tuesday at 9, here on 6. Saab Cars USA joins Channel 6 in supporting environmental programming. People who care about the world they live in think before they choose their car and before they use it.
The best TV can be for 8 cents a day.
These extraordinary images are the work of photographer Jeffrey Beckham. Through him, we came to know about a different Italy, an antique Italy that's still very much alive. It's a place where simple colors and unadorned lines are the fresh expression of a rich culture. With each picture in this book, we stumble onto what seemed a new country. Its author captured a native glory. He brought to life regions of Italy where culture has conferred on stone and stucco and architectural music. Now, there's probably no place in all America that hasn't somehow been enriched by Italians. And yet how little we know of their baseline culture, the hill towns, the villages, the ports. In looking at these pictures, we asked ourselves, how did the photographer capture them? How did he travel? What else did he discover along the way? This, then, is Jeffrey Beckham's journey, a photographer's tale on travels.
Funding for Travels was provided by a grant from Lexis. Because we understand the journey is its own reward. Travels is also made possible by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by the financial support of viewers like you.
As she talks, the reasons behind the tattered condition of the town become clear. Local law requires that all new painting must match the old.